Congratulations, little book. You know, let's just get back to the words. Let's get back to the writing. Let's make some more books for you to read. Happy Monday, April 26th. Tomorrow, On a Dark Tide releases. I'm a bit of a hot mess. My top bun and no makeup and breaking out a little bit. But I'm feeling good. I'm ready for release day. Monday's already over. I haven't shared anything with you today. I was inspired this weekend by Michelle Schusterman's YouTube channel. And if you're a writer, you should definitely be following her. She has a lot of great information and delves into a lot of interesting topics about the publishing and writing industry. And this weekend I watched a video where she was talking about finding a creative flow and kind of blocking off one day a week to just work on one of her manuscripts that she's trying to get finished and kind of not doing anything else, not focusing on anything else, but just trying to find that flow. Because I'm both a writer and a publisher now, I need to be sure I'm balancing my time between marketing, publishing, business related stuff, and writing. Writing is always going to be a priority for me, but sometimes I tend to get lost in that at the expense of everything else that needs to get done. But then I also don't want to get lost in all the marketing stuff at the expense of writing. So I feel like having a flow day, a day where I'm focused only on writing once a week, is a great idea to kind of kick off this prequel project that I'm working on. I'm picking Monday for my flow day. I'm calling it a writing only day, and I picked Mondays because Monday is when I'm feeling most rested from the weekend and rejuvenated and excited to get back to writing. I'm working in 30-minute writing sprints and then taking about a 5 to 10 minute break in between those, and I was able to get 8 writing sprints done, so that was about 4 hours of solid work. I finished 2 scenes for this prequel. I wrote and revised about 3,600 words, which is a great day, especially when I'm easing myself back into a project. 3,600 words is a fantastic day indeed. I know there are writers out there who write a lot more words than that, but for me, with the fact that I'm launching a book tomorrow and the fact that it's been about 2 months since I worked on this project, this prequel project, 3,600 words, I will take that as a win. So that's all I did today. I was in my writing cave, just writing and revising the prequel. I did take a break to walk the dog, drop off some more books at the post office for people, and also pick up some books from the library. And I know you all want to see what I got from the library. This is The Never List by D.L. White. It's a romance. In the Quick by Kate Hope Day, which is space, astronaut, love in space, something. It sounds fantastic. And look at this cover. And then A Deadly Fortune by Stacey Murphy, which is a historical mystery. So those are the ones I picked up from the library, and that's the day. So Mondays from this day forward are now writing only days. Spending all that time on writing was also an excellent distraction, so I didn't have to think about tomorrow's release day. So thank you, Michelle, for inspiring me to try something new. It's Tuesday, April 27th. It's release day. On a Dark Tide, my 3rd book, is officially available as a paperback, ebook, and audiobook. That's pretty exciting. I have found it to be a little bittersweet to release a book into the world. I'm proud of the work that Ryan and I have done to make this book possible. And I'm grateful to the people who have supported me as a writer and who are excited about this book as well. My journey with the book is ending and the reader's journey is beginning, and it's kind of a bit of a letting go process. I get excited thinking about people reading the book, picking it up, finding it at some point in their life. So thank you to everyone who bought the book early, to all of you who've been watching this video, coming along on this journey with me, to anyone who shared the book or shared any of my content on your own social media feeds. Thank you so much. It really helps a lot to help get the word out to other readers when I'm not doing it all by myself. And I know there are a lot of you out there that have been excited and helping me move things along. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So far, I haven't heard from anybody who ordered the ebook and opened it to find there were no pages inside. So I haven't gotten any reader rage emails yet. All the anxieties I was worried about, obviously none of them came true. We're ordering some pizza to celebrate. We're going to open a bottle of champagne, and that is going to be our exciting release day party. Just the 2 of us. Happy release day. Wednesday, the day after release day. Again, I spent this morning revising the prequel to On a Dark Tide. I hit the 10K mark today, so I have revised about 10,000 words. I think this one might be about 30,000 words when I get done, so I'm about a third of the way there. I'm still really loving how this prequel is turning out, and I'm kind of getting excited to share it with people. I also spent some time this afternoon making some social media content and kind of reflecting on social media and how it doesn't really help sell books. I think more often if other people are sharing your book, that can help. But if you're just out there kind of being like, look at me, look at my books, it doesn't really seem to move the needle. And yet we're told all the time as authors that we need to be out there like pushing our products and doing social media marketing and content marketing. And I don't know if it's because I don't have a very big platform. Like if I had a bigger platform, would I see different kinds of numbers? But I don't really think so. I think I keep coming back to the same thing, is that the best thing I can do with my time is focus on writing and get back to writing new stories, new things, delivering new content in terms of like storytelling to readers. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm still kind of shifting gears, so I'm having a little trouble focusing on the writing. My brain is a little bit scattered still, but I am finding that I'm making progress every day and just kind of continuing to return to the desk, continuing to return to work on the stories is helping me find focus. I also just recorded a video for Friday. You have probably already watched it. I was doing my April haul. I'm finding that like YouTube is taking up a lot of time. I'm not sure how I feel about that yet. I mean, it is fun to make the videos, but it takes a lot of time to edit them and put them together, probably because I'm still new at this and not very good at talking without making mistakes, so I have to do a lot of cuts. I think that after this series, this low-key launch series is over, I will go back to doing one video a week instead of two. It's stuff I'm doing for free. I'm not getting paid for it. I don't have enough followers to get advertising money, so yeah, if you want to help out a small YouTuber, follow the channel, yeah. I will keep making content because I'm having fun doing it, but I am going to kind of scale back and try to find ways to help myself save time so I don't spend all my time making videos and not writing. My days are getting to be a little bit repetitive at this point. There's not a whole lot to vlog about. So I think it's probably good that this is going to be my last vlog. It won't be the end of the series. I'll come back and do some like things learned and takeaways, that kind of thing. What else did I do today? So Ryan has been working on getting direct sales set up, and yesterday he was working on connecting a shop to my website and kind of working out the details of that. So that is actually moving forward. So one thing that's been different with this book launch is that I didn't have any events scheduled or any kind of live streams or anything like that. And part of that was because of the pandemic. There wasn't really an opportunity to set up in-person events. I really love in-person events. They have been pretty fun for me in the past. And with my past two books, I was able to set up events at Powell's and Broadway Books and some Central Oregon bookstores. I love a good book event, especially in person. This time around, I was feeling a little bit, I think I was feeling stressed out about the book publishing, like trying to get it out and make sure that everything was working okay. And so I didn't really set up any events for myself. A friend of mine reached out to me and asked if I wanted to do an event at the bookstore where they work. And so we're going to be setting that up. I think that will be in June. It'll be a virtual event. I wish it could be in person, but you know, pandemic. And then maybe I might look into some other virtual events. But I am excited about this event that's going to be coming up. It's going to be through Orca Books. They are a bookstore in Washington, so that's great because the book is set in Washington, and so, you know, they can tell me all the things that I got wrong about my book. I'll have more information on that later on, but that is something that I set up this week, and I need to get some stuff out to Jonah, who's running the event. They are needing some headshot and bio information, all the good stuff that you have to send out when you're doing an event. So I need to get that taken care of. It's almost 5 o'clock. I'm kind of ready to call it a day, get in my pajamas. I'm not gonna lie to you, I've been in my pajamas all day. It's Friday, the end of week 4 of my low-key book launch. 3 days post-release of my new book, On a Dark Tide. For you future people watching this, On a Dark Tide has been out for a whole entire week now. So today I want to talk about post-book release blues. I've been trying to figure out what causes post-release day blues. I think part of it is that you kind of set up expectations for yourself for how a book release is going to go or how you want it to go, or you just have these ideas in mind for how you think a book is going to launch. Even when you keep those expectations low, they're still there. They're still simmering in the background. They're still in the back of your mind. For whatever reason, release date comes and goes and you're just kind of sitting here thinking, now what? I don't think it matters if you're traditionally published or self-published. I've had post-release day melancholy for all 3 of my books. Now, when I made the decision to self-publish On a Dark Tide, I knew that visibility and word of mouth was going to be the most challenging thing for me. I have a pretty small reach right now. Part of that is because with my first 2 books, I didn't really know what I was doing or what I was supposed to be doing. I bought into this idea that because I was traditionally published, that meant they would do all the heavy lifting for me. They did some of it. They did a lot of it. They did a lot that I couldn't have done myself. But they didn't really help me help myself. They weren't necessarily interested in growing my readership. They were interested in selling books and growing their readership as an imprint, which makes plenty of sense to me. But now with my new book, I'm beginning to understand how vital readers are and how important they can be to getting the word out about a book. And so I'm slowly growing my readership, but it does take time. I'm still learning a lot about this side of the business and I'm still trying to get comfortable with it. So I think some of the release day blues center around this feeling of lackluster performance. This idea that if there are only a few people talking about your book, then you failed somewhere along the way. I think social media feeds into this idea that if your book isn't up everywhere and in everyone's feeds, you've done something wrong. Obviously, having your book show up on other people's platforms is a great way to sell books. One big way to do that, to make sure that people are talking about the book, is to start generating buzz early, months before a book is ever published. I didn't do that with On a Dark Tide. I didn't have the resources, nor did I have the emotional bandwidth for it. My plan with this book was always to learn how to make the book, launch the book quietly, and then move on to the second one, building on that first one, building on the things I'd learn from this first launch, and just kind of grow the business and grow the readership with the second and third and subsequent books after that. Realistically, I knew it was going to be slow growth. It's going to be a process, one of commitment and persistence and hard work and a little bit of luck. And yet it seems that with every book, I have been waiting for some kind of lightning strike. Even though most of us don't get it, it's so rare. We want that image. We like that idea of overnight success. But the thing about overnight success is that usually it's years in the making. Okay, so some of this melancholy is from expectations not being met. Even though I knew and had set myself up for a quiet release day, I was still disappointed when it was quiet. Brains are a delightful little mystery, aren't they? There are other things that are coming into play here. One thing I think is that every time you publish a book, you have to face the reality of the book industry itself, of the fact that there is really a small niche of people who read a lot. And there's a lot of competition out there, a lot of other books being published and vying for the reader's time. Here's the story. I used to work for the automobile insurance industry. When I started, people would ask how I got into the business. It's not really one of those careers that you grow up dreaming about. You know, nobody really says, oh, I want to be an insurance adjuster when I grow up. I guess maybe there are people out there who do, but I certainly wasn't one of those people. So when they asked me this question, I would talk about my English degree and how I wanted to be a writer and how I was writing, during my off hours. I was never shy about the fact that I wanted to write and sell books and eventually quit the insurance job. One day I was talking to some coworkers about writing and one of them was like, books? Like novels? Do people even read anymore? It's hard sometimes when you're in the industry and when you love books as much as I do, when you're reading them all the time, talking about them all the time, adding them to your TBR, stacking more than you will ever be able to read in your lifetime, that really the average reader is not that big of a reader. People may read one book a month or one book a year, or only read the biggest books of the decade, but only after they get turned into movies. Already the audience of books is shrinking. Add on to that the fact that there is so much content out there for people to consume. There are books, new books, old books, books about books. There's television, movies, so many shows you could spend 1,000 lifetimes and not watch them all. Plus there's YouTube, Reels, TikToks, baseball games, all the other things people do and watch to distract themselves. And really, we only have so much time in the day to do everything we want to do. We have to work, we have to take care of our families, we have to take care of ourselves, we have to exercise, we have to go out and smell the roses. The pandemic too has made it hard for people to concentrate and to really devote the kind of brain energy and time needed to read books. So even if people are reading, they may be reading more slowly, or they may be reading less than they normally did. And you can see where I'm going with this. It's just an uphill battle to publish a book and try and find readers. And not everyone reads the kind of books that I write. So the challenge here is to not find all readers, but to find the readers who want to read what I'm writing, who will enjoy the books that I write. Add on to the fact that when you self-publish, you don't have quite the audience reach that you do with a publisher. But even with a publisher, sometimes you publish a book and all you get are crickets. There's a certain build-up and letdown cycle with publishing a book. I've been working on this book for a long time. Too long, probably. I haven't been working on it exclusively for 3 years. I wrote and edited a whole other book in there, but I have been sitting with this story and with these characters for 3 years. And now we're here at this transitionary place where this book doesn't belong to me anymore. It belongs to the readers, and that is a very vulnerable place to be. Because what if readers don't like it? Or what if they don't even want it? It's just a very strange feeling to be leaving this book behind and moving on to the next one. It's a grieving of sorts, I think, this post-release melancholy that I'm feeling. Going from this book being mine and only mine to now this book must stand on its own, and we'll see what happens. What's nice this time around is that I'm building a series with these characters, so I don't have to leave them completely behind. I'm working on the prequel. I'm about halfway done with that. I just got notes back from my writing partner on book 2, and I'm excited to dive back into that story. And then I have book 3 that I need to outline. So there's plenty to keep me busy. The important thing I think for me right now is to move into these new stories, get lost with these characters, while On a Dark Tide finds its way into the world on its own. Of course, there are things I can do to continue to promote this book and things I will be doing, and I'll talk a little bit about that later. But for right now, it's time to say goodbye to On a Dark Tide and let other people find it. So as with all the other videos in this low-key launch series, I am going to leave you with 3 takeaways from week 4, release week. The first takeaway is that you cannot and should not judge a book's future by how well it does on release day. Release day is just the beginning. I think it's important to remember that. It's a door closing for the writer and another door opening for the reader. And probably the best thing to do on release day is just to turn off the computer and go for a hike. I think I'll probably do that next time. My second takeaway for week 4 is that social media is not all it's cracked up to be. I go back and forth with social media. Sometimes I love it, most of the time I hate it. It used to be such a good way to reach people organically, and now it's really just this pay-to-play system with the rich getting richer and the rest of us being smothered by the algorithm. The people who want to see my content aren't seeing it through no fault of my own and no fault of their own, just because I don't want to pay for it. I don't think I should have to pay for it. I think that if you like my Facebook page, that should be a cue to the algorithm that you want to see my content, but alas, Facebook is a greedy monster. It's so frustrating to know that there are readers out there who want content from me and aren't getting it. It's a struggle to figure out whether or not I should even be using social media at this point. It's like I don't want to anymore, and yet I can't seem to get rid of it. I can't seem to disconnect myself from it. If I'm not here, I feel like I'm going to miss out, or people aren't going to hear about what I'm doing, or I'm going to lose money. I don't know. Even though, I don't think social media sells books, but feels like everyone who's anyone tells you you need to have a social media platform, at least one thing. I don't know. So maybe YouTube will become my one thing. I don't know what the actual takeaway here is other than, social media is a scam. And the less time we spend on it, the better. So this might be silly, but my third and final takeaway for the low-key book launch week 4 is that doing weekly vlog videos like this one are exhausting. This is the final vlog in this series, thank God, because filming and editing these vlogs is a lot of work. They're fun, but man, they are a time suck. The rest of the series will be a series of shorter videos talking about the things that I've learned and the takeaways and that kind of thing. So next week will be the first of those videos. I would also love to do a Q&A kind of video at the end of all this. So if you have any questions for me about the process of launching a book or writing a book, leave it in the comments and I will include those in a future video. But I hope you enjoyed these vlog style videos. I hope you enjoyed the inside look, kind of the behind the scenes look into a little bit of my writing and publishing life. I'm looking forward to an entire weekend where I don't have to think about launching a book. I'm just gonna let my mind wander. I'm gonna daydream and start plotting new books and just kind of pull myself out of this post-release day funk. So thank you for spending release week with me, for spending the past month sharing in this experience with me. It's been fun bringing you along. And thank you to everyone who helped spread the word about On a Dark Tide. Thank you, thank you, thank you to everyone who did something to help launch this book. I couldn't do this without you, and I'm so grateful for your support as I try to get this new indie publishing career off the ground. Thank you, thank you, thank you.